Hello, everybody. My name is Zojalix, and welcome to a Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers Aragorn tutorial. You probably have noticed that there's one tutorial already out on YouTube if you're revisiting this. And I literally was like, that tutorial is really bad, and so I wanted to make another one. So here we are, making another one. This is one that I'm doing on my console, not on emulator, unfortunately, so I can't use save states, which that doesn't affect anybody except for the people on stream. So we're going to be covering pretty much all of the basic well, actually all of the strats for the Aragorn tutorial, and going through talking about every single aspect of the run, everything that you need to know from how to kill enemies, what upgrades you need to get, and basically being able to see what a run would look like that's kind of slow, because I don't want to I don't want you guys to have to base everything that you're doing off of the world record run, because there's some things in the world record run that are good to see, but they're not recommended as you're just starting out. I will be going over strats that are basic and advanced, so that way you guys can see every single aspect of this run. So, to start off, I just want to preface, if you're watching this on YouTube, I created a tutorial about all of the mechanics in the game, about all of the different attacks and the enemies, how they all function, and that is going to be a recommended starting spot. I'm actually going to be linking it in chat here, so that way if people are watching this and they don't know don't know how this game functions, they will have that in chat for them to be able to access. But it will also be linked in the description below, as well as the Lord of the Rings Discord will be linked in the description below, so you guys can join us. Oh yeah, joining me in case I miss anything, which I'm really hoping I don't, but he'll be there to help in case I do, is going to be another runner by the name of Bloody Lifetime. Hi, Bloody.
Hey, how's it going?
Alright, so he's mostly just here for giggles, but hopefully if I miss something really important, he will be able to be like, hey, what about this? And then I'll be like, oh yeah, you right. So, first things first is we play on the GameCube version of this game. The GameCube version is the fastest version because you can skip all of the FMV cutscenes. So it's important to have that available for you to use. If you do not have that available for you to use, then you will be left in kind of a state of sadness, because you lose about 10 to 15 minutes to the FMV cutscenes. We do allow emulators, so if you want to play on an emulator, you can. We have some specific rules for it. You can check that out on speedrun.com. Also, the leaderboard will also be linked in the description below. Anyway, so in order to set up our run, what we're going to be doing first is, so if I were to go into new game right now, because this is basically off of a fresh boot of my console, the game would think that I have not played the game before, and thus would then play it as if it was essentially my first time. Not quite that way, because it gives you the option of loading, and if there wasn't any save data detected, it would run the first level, but that's not important right now. What is important is we're at the main menu, and what we need to do is we need to load an already completed file. So I have a lot of files here, like a lot of them, but I use a lot of these for practice and stuff, which is something that I'll talk about kind of as we're going. Probably near the end of the tutorial. I recommend having one file specifically that is secret codes. This is my secret codes file here. The only reason I am recommending this file is because this file, well, I'm not recommending this file. This file is going to be required in order to do the run. And the reason why this file is required is because I have beaten all the way up to Hornburg Courtyard. I've beaten all the way up to Hornburg Courtyard and completed it. And the reason why is because now that I'm in this file, I will quit out and I will save the game. Saving the game is important because now it's saving the game is saving and storing everything that is going on. So now the game is seeing, hey, you have completed the game, and I don't know if this was actually intended or not by the developers, but at least, they're like, hey, you've completed the game, so we're going to let you skip the cutscenes. So now we're going to go into a new game and we're going to play on easy. You're probably wondering, if you've looked at the leaderboard, why we do not have subcategories for each difficulty, and we used to until it then became realized that it was basically just the same thing but slower on other difficulties, and that's really not the most interesting thing in the world to speedrun. I did a few runs of every single difficulty and thought it was alright, but again, it was just the same thing but slower. So we're going to be playing on easy because it's the fastest difficulty. If you want to play on normal and expert, go for it. I don't know why you would, but you do have that option. So yeah, timing does not start when you press easy, by the way, but we're going to press easy. This will then start to load the game. Now, there's going to be this cutscene that's going to start playing, and it's skippable. Timing starts when we skip this first cutscene. So it will skip if you were doing a run and you had this cutscene playing, it would be in 3, 2, 1, go. So here we are in the first level prologue. We're playing as Isildur, and I'm going to pause here for a second while I explain some things. So a lot of this stuff is covered within the mechanics tutorial, but I'm going to incorporate it in this as well slightly. There's one type of kill that you want to get throughout the level, and that's because this level is a 3-minute auto-scroller. But in this level, you are going to be wanting to get EXP. And if you're just starting out, get as much EXP as you possibly can, because you don't have quite the mechanical abilities to be able to get what you need to get the bare minimum of EXP. But for this, I'm going to be getting the minimum of what we get at our level, so that way I can talk about some other things. But anyway, you want to get into perfect mode, and how you're going to be getting into perfect mode is you're going to be using this combo called Isildur's Judgment, and you'll see it. Really pay attention to my input display over here on the right side so you can see it. But the combo that we're going to be using is Judgment, and it is YYXY, and what that does is it will allow us to destroy any shields and just absolutely decimate enemies really quickly and get into perfect mode. Once we get into perfect mode, we want about 10 to 12 perfects. That is like the happy number. Again, if you're just starting out, just grind. Just grind. And I'll explain why you don't just grind at every single aspect of the game. You don't just grind even at the top level. And why you should get your 10 to 12. So I'll explain that as it becomes relevant, but for right now, you'll kind of see how this works. So with perfect mode, you are going to be getting the maximum amount of EXP, as well as doing the max amount of damage. So while you're fighting, you the goal of this auto scroller is to get experience points. I think I'm at like 4 right now. 7, 8, 9. And like I said, you have 3 minutes to get to it, so it's not that hard to get to what you need. Oh, so there's something good to know. Is my combo got a little messed up there. And when your combo gets a little bit messed up, and you start kicking, even though you're doing the inputs correctly, all you need to do, just step back and reset your combos, and then you'll be fine. Okay, I'm just gonna... Okay, that should be good. So now we're just going to be chilling out here waiting for this auto-scroller. For YouTube, I will just be going ahead and cutting forward, so that way you guys don't have to sit and watch for nothing. Because everything else that I would be explaining in this area is explained in the mechanics tutorial, so go look at that. So we're back! And this is the end of the auto-scroller. There's going to be this little cutscene here that's going to play of Sauron whacking the crap out of enemies. And I usually just mash A here. So here is our first results screen. The results screen is the reason why we don't want to overgrind. Because when you overgrind, your results screen goes slower. Each area of kill from fair to perfect, it tallies speed is all dependent on how many kills you get. So if you get more kills, it's slower. Less kills, faster. We got our 2000 EXP, we're good. So we can hit continue, and we don't want to save the game. Saving the game is a no me gusta in this speedrun. It loses quite a few seconds. So the next level we're going to be doing here is Weathertop. Weathertop is a pretty difficult level to execute well. And it's because of these wraiths. So really, again, pay attention to my input display. But what I'm going to be doing for this first wraith, and actually both wraiths in this first section, is I'm going to be going up and pushing my fierce attack. But I don't want to push my fierce attack. I'm going to go into my up. Oh, it's just going to quit out, isn't it? I don't want to do it too fast. So in your fierce attack, Aragorn has an upswing and a downswing. Okay. We want to do our fierce attacks quickly, but not do that downswing. Because if we do that downswing, we use more torch and we get into perfect mode. We don't want to get into perfect mode in this first section. So you kind of see how it works here. But what it is I'm going to be hitting the rhythm, and it's going to be basically like a Y, 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 Y. That's about how it's going to be going. And it's going to take some feeling really to be able to quite get it. So this is going to be a level that I recommend you make a save for and practice, so that way you can get the hang of what you're going to be doing here. Okay. Excuse me. All right, so now you will see how this works here.
Stay close.
So for this second ring wraith there, as you kind of saw, I kind of had to like be adaptive to how I was going to be going against him, because sometimes he can break out or move in weird spots. Adaptability is a key part in this whole run, because you have to adapt to a lot of the ways that the enemies move. But again, I did exactly what I needed to do. I did the rhythm, I killed them, I didn't get into perfect mode. Now immediately you have a few seconds before the next cutscene hits. What you want to do is don't just sit still. There's this fire pit that's here in the middle. You want to run over and whack the fire pit with your torch. That revitalizes your fire, so that way when you get to the second wraith, you don't have to worry about him at all. You don't have to worry about your fire running out. But for the second ring wraith, you can just wail. You want to get into perfect mode, and you want to just wail into him. So you just run up and just go ham. You usually can kill him pretty quickly, and it takes like 10 seconds, 10 to 12 seconds. 12 is really slow. And then again, run over to the fire, revitalize your fire. Okay, that's the key strat. Because now, at the end of this cutscene, you have 2 more wraiths. And now you're in perfect mode, and you'll be able to kill them really, really, really quickly. So it's just boom, boom, done, boom, boom, done, and the level is over. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So now I'm going to play the level again, so that way you guys can see what we do, so I can explain what would happen if for some reason you screwed it up. If you messed up the strat and weren't able to, and got perfect mode when you didn't want to, or you weren't able to get perfect mode at all. Watch, now I'm not going to be able to get perfect mode. There we go. Okay, so I got perfect mode. I don't want perfect mode here. It's way too early. So it's going to make this Wraith here a lot faster because it's just 2 hits and he's dead. Okay, but for this section is where it really comes into play because my perfect mode is going to be gone. But you really have to watch the Wraiths at this point. So what I would recommend is you kind of come over here and play around that log. Because if you play around that log, you can get into perfect mode again pretty quickly and kill them still pretty decently fast. Those are what I would recommend. Again, you kind of I would recommend practicing it and really try and nail down getting perfect mode just consistently. I'm going to go and play Weathertop again, just so that way you guys can see what the Weathertop strat looks like all in succession. And hopefully you guys can see what you need to do. And again, this level is going to require a lot of practice because it can be the difference between 6 to like 10, like, I don't know. Bloody, how much time do you think a good versus a bad Weathertop saves?
5-10 seconds.
Yeah. And when you're in the first 5 minutes of the run, it can make a difference.
I think when you have a really, really bad Weathertop, it takes 15 seconds.
Yeah, and that's if you get hit. Oh, that's a good thing to cover, actually. So I'm gonna do it one more time. Because sometimes you can get hit. And if you get hit, you lose your fire. And it really makes you sad. So I'm still going to go after this guy the way I normally would. And then let's say I get hit. Come on. He's not going to do the attack I want him to, is he? There. Okay. So I just got stabbed. Now I can't hit him at all. I literally am just whacking him and doing no damage. If this happens, you just have to run back over to the fire pit and reset your loot.
And the thing about that is, even when you're hitting enemies normally, your fire will wear out over time.
Yes. So, the fire management is the key to this level. So, and the nice thing to know is with the 2 versions that I've showed already, one with the perfect mode strat and the one without, if you get hit and you lose your perfect mode, just play to the Wraiths and try and get perfect mode back. You don't lose any of the EXP that you need. So, a nice thing to know, I don't know if you've paid attention, but no matter what, every single Wraith is, every single time you do this level, you're going to get 5,000 EXP, whether they're excellence or perfects or not. Okay, so that doesn't matter. 7,000 EXP, it doesn't matter how long it takes you to kill the Wraiths in terms of your EXP. Just kill them. Okay, but now we've got 7,000 EXP, and we need to get our first set of upgrades. So there are quite a few upgrades we're going to be getting in level 2. I think level 2 is the one that we get the most in. Yeah, level 2 is the one that we get the most in. So over here in level 2, you want to get Isildur's Swift Terror, because we're not level 8, and we can't use Judgment. We will use Judgment later in the run, but right now we will not be able to use Judgment. So we need to use the next best thing, which is Isildur Swift Terror. Okay. So you want to get Isildur Swift Terror and Ranger Fury. These are your two most key abilities that you can get after Weathertop. Okay. Once you have those two abilities, continue, don't save, you're ready to keep going. Okay. Those are the important things when you go Weathertop. Okay. So be watching those and again, practice that level a bunch and get Isildur Swift Terror as well as Ranger Fury. There will be a link to the upgrade guide in the description below so that way you guys can see what upgrades you need to get throughout the entirety of the run. Alright, so I actually am going to shut my door because I left my door open and my wife is sleeping. Be right back. Okay, we're back. So now we're going to go into our next level, Gates of Moria. This is now where the game has unlocked and we have all of our different levels available. So we're going to be using them a lot. We're going to be playing through them. So let's just go right ahead and hop in. Again, you have to play as Aragorn throughout the entirety of the run. So just go ahead and jump in. Okay, you can, again, skipping the cutscene because not skipping the cutscene is slow.
This land has changed.
So Gates of Moria is a level that is going to have to really begin movement practice. These level, you don't necessarily need to practice this level. I just recommend... Oh gosh. That's not supposed to happen. That's a whack. What is going on here? Hold on a second. I need to fix something here. Okay. Alright. We should be fine. Hold on. I'm going to test something here. Oh, okay. I'm just being dramatic. Maybe I'm not. That might just be an ROTK that you can spin around.
This land
Also, hi,
has
Rubeetle.
changed.
I didn't mean to just ignore you.
We shall wait here until the path beyond appears safe.
We have had no word from Moria in many years.
Okay, yeah, I'm just being dramatic. Okay. Alright, so Gates of Moria. This is a very movement-based level. You don't necessarily need to practice it, but you can if you feel that it is necessary in order to improve.
Safe.
We have had no word from Moria in many years.
So, let's say, for instance, you didn't get your 7,000 EXP that you were supposed to get. and you got kind of stuck on that. Okay. What I recommend is right here, there's this box. This box is what we call scrub box. Just a fierce attack and a speed attack will break it. And then you have the EXP that you need. You should get another 1,000 EXP, and that should set you up just fine. Okay. That's scrub box. You got it. Enjoy it. And now, we're just going to run to the end of the level, avoiding the goblins here. That's the key to this level, is avoiding goblins. It's pretty consistent, but you still have to kind of adapt to how each of the goblins are going to behave. And then fierce attack that guy, that kills him.
We could pass through the
Easy
mines of Moria.
peasy, lemon
My cousin
squeezy.
Balin give us a royal welcome.
Watch out!
And then here, just kind of watch my pathing. You can see I juke him. I run along here. I run left. I juke these arrows. Juke. Sometimes you'll get stuck here. If you do get stuck, kill the goblins. It's better than trying to wiggle your way out. And then when you hit the lake here, you can just go around the edge of the lake. Avoid this. Try and avoid going in the water. So here, when you get here, you're going to be forced to wade. Just do a quick turnaround and jump back. That'll get you to the edge of the lake really quickly. And then you can just cut straight through here. And get to the boss fight. So now we're at the Watcher in the Water. Okay, the Watcher in the Water is... This fight is pretty RNG. You just do it just as you would if you were playing casually. Okay. You just parry his tentacles and shoot. There's certain timing for the way that you can make it go fast. You just have to figure out what that timing is. It's a really fast fight.
Beast.
Wow, this is really laggy. Interesting.
This is the dawn of Durin, Lord of Moria.
It should be fine, though. Skipping the cutscenes again. So here, you won't have that much EXP, so just go. Don't worry about any upgrade. If you didn't have the EXP that you need, and so you skip the menu after Weathertop, you can then go in and do the menu at the end of Gates of Moria. Alright, so now we're going to go into Balin's Tomb. Balin's Tomb can be a pretty frustrating level. It's going to start off as approximately like a 2-minute auto-scroller, but it's not really an auto-scroller. I don't really know how else to describe it. But what you're going to be doing is that Isildur's Swift Terror ability that we got, you're going to be using that to get into perfect mode. And you can see how I go about it here. And once I'm in perfect mode, I use my bow to just one-shot enemies. You're killing a lot of enemies really quickly. And that's the important part about what happens in this level. And because we're in perfect mode, we're getting a lot of EXP. So you're just going to be doing this for a while. Recommendation is you want to play around the door, but you don't want to play directly at the door. Because if you play directly at the door, the goblins that are there are going to get stuck.
Steel yourself!
They have too many!
How can we stop them?
So now you can kind of see how this works. Oh crap, I did not want to get perfect mode. I didn't realize what time we were at. So, I'm going to wait for my perfect mode to go away, and while I do, I'm going to explain the strat. So, that fierce attack loop that I talked about in Weathertop, we're going to be doing again here. And we want to do it 8 times, and then once we get the 8th hit, just mash Y and get that down hit. That'll advance you to the next phase, as well as get you perfect mode. If you get hit by a goblin, you cry a little bit, and then just kind of have to deal with it. Unfortunately, there's not really any good backups, which is why if I get hit by a goblin, I typically just reset. So, he's going to be swinging, and you'll see it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that will advance the phase. And now I'm in perfect mode and in the second phase. And what you want to do in the second phase is quickly run behind this pillar, get 2 charge shots and a quick shot, and that will kill the troll. So just 1, 2, kill that goblin, another quick shot, and he's dead. Okay, and that's Balin's Tomb. Again, if you lose your perfect mode, just spam charge shots. That's the best way you can kill him. So a key point in this run is by the end of Balin's Tomb, you want to be level 4. If you are not level 4, the next level is going to be extraordinarily difficult. The strats don't change. It just is a lot harder to execute well. Because when we hit level 4, you're going to be getting your first bow upgrade. And that's going to be Rohan bow. So go ahead and grab it here when you hit level 4. Grab it here and then go back to level 2 because you need rising attack. You need rising attack for Amon Hen. If you don't have rising attack, you will be sad. So buy rising attack and then go down, and if you have at least 10,000, get strength of the stewards. Because now we have our first layer of health. Starting out, I recommend that you buy as much health upgrades as possible. And I will be buying them in this tutorial so you guys can see it. But, yeah, so you want, in a perfect world, by the end of Balin's Tomb, you'll be level 4, so you can get Rohan bow, rising attack, and strength of the stewards. Okay, and then again, don't save. Saving is slow. And now we move on to our next level, Amon Hen. Amon Hen is a really difficult level and is going to be a first major reset point for people. Because in this level, you have these Uruk-hai scouts, and they have this overhead swing that gives them super armor. And in this level, killing enemies matters. So you have to be very reactive, otherwise that happens. And if you're really not careful, they can chain those together and then you're stuck. So I'm kind of watching here. And once you get 56, once you get around 60 kills, I recommend leaving. That's kind of like the good zone is 60. Sometimes you can push it to 56. 56 is the max, but if you get to 60, you'll be fine. So now you can come over here, do the same thing using your Swift Terror. Oof. So yeah, this is where parrying is going to be extraordinarily useful. Because if you don't parry very well, you'll find yourself on the ground a lot. And so now, again, using our perfect mode to kill enemies. Abusing perfect mode on archers is going to be really important because they will die with just one quick shot. Whereas they wouldn't die with one quick shot if you weren't in perfect mode. Oh gosh, I almost just did a no upgrade strat there. So as you can see, my health is looking not so hot. But since another reason to play on easy mode is health drops just don't stop dropping. And then from like the 30 to 33 mark is perfect here. So here, there's fire. We literally just ignore these guys. It's too slow and not worth it to kill them. So just rock through the fire. If you have your health upgrade, you're fine. If your health is super low, then kill them. Because it's either fire or it's either kill them or death. Then kill them, obviously. And again, just killing enemies. If you think you're going to get hit in the middle of a combo, feel free to use a jump back to cancel your attacks. That can prevent you from getting knocked down. Or like there, that archer was going to shoot me, so I just did a jump back and that allowed me to dodge the arrow. It's just kind of a good thing to do there because it's a good positional reshuffle. So this is the bridge fight. I recommend with this bridge fight to open it with a Ranger Fury. So just start pushing and holding Y the moment the cutscene ends, because then the moment enemies get into your range, you can let go and get 2 kills right off the bat. And then you can just Swift Terror to get into perfect mode, and then just kind of go ham, and it makes the fight end really fast. So for those of you guys who are watching on stream, I apologize. You're going to have to see me do this level again. But for those of you guys who are watching on YouTube, I'm going to be showing 2 different variations to kill alerts. So the first one is going to be what is supposed to be the easier method, which is the parry kick strat. So what you're going to do is, you'll kind of see it happen here, but Lurtz is going to charge you in this second phase. In the first phase, just shoot him with quick shots, as you saw. That's all you got to do. Dodge a little bit. I forgot to explain that. Dodge a little bit so you don't have to get shot. Sometimes an arrow misses, as it did here. Not a big deal. Do that. You're good. Okay. Easy peasy. So for the second phase, the first strat is you're going to parry, kick, Ranger Fury. Parry, kick, Ranger Fury. And this additional enemy can be annoying, but that's how that strat works. It's really easy. It's pretty easy, pretty forgiving. And that is just a really, really quick way to kill alerts there. Alright, so now we're going to explain the harder strat that I don't recommend for beginners. This strat was found by 7swagmuffin7, and it is pretty advanced. First phase is not going to be any different than how you would do it before with the parry kick strat. Just 4 shots if you're not in perfect mode, 1 shot if you are. So what you're going to be doing is they're in the top, so not the one that's in the direct left, but the one kind of like right above my menu. You want Lurtz to attack that statue. Then you're going to do a Swift Terror and Ranger Fury him. The Ranger Fury you want to execute as soon as you possibly can. And this is why this strat is really difficult, because if you do it too early, he'll do a fierce attack. If you do it too late, Lurtz will be invulnerable and you can't kill him. If for some reason you screw the strat up, just kick him in Ranger Fury and it should kill him. Okay, I'm going to do it hopefully right here. And there it is. That is how you're able to kill alerts as fast as possible. It's significantly faster than the parry kick strat, but the parry kick strat is a lot easier. So I recommend as you start out, don't do the statue strat. So now we're going to be getting a lot of EXP. I'm going to be almost close to level 6 by this point in time. I don't expect you guys to be. Maybe a little bit over level 5. But if you have a lot of EXP to spare, go ahead and buy Strength of Isildur if you feel like you're going to need it. I don't necessarily need it, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so we're going to move on to Fangorn Forest. Fangorn Forest is another really difficult level, but personally, it's my favorite level in the entire run. Because it's so unique. There's so many different ways to do this
But
level.
the trail ends here. We must split up to find them quickly.
So what I'm doing with my input display is just messing around. So what you're going to do is you're going to run up, you're going to break this log with a fierce attack. You get to a certain point, and all these enemies are going to spawn. I was not in the spot that I wanted to be, because I guess that trigger for that is a lot earlier than I thought, so we're going to go back in. But what you want to do is you want to Ranger Fury the shielded orcs, and then use the Isildur Swift Terror
But the trail
to
ends here.
kill the goblins
We
quickly.
must split up to find them quickly.
This fight will go horribly wrong on numerous occasions. This little fight here sucks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run here, Ranger Fury, that kills one of them, and then I'm just a Swift Terror there to get a lot of those goblins off my back. And then can do that. Okay, that does that fight. That was actually a really bad way to do that fight. I might work on actually coming up with a legitimate strat for that, to which if I do, I will link that in Discord. Okay, so up here is going to be the Berserker that's going to spawn. You can kind of see this little grassy area. That's hanging off the top of the log. That's the trigger that spawns him. So when you get to him, you want to parry him and then Ranger Fury. Okay, so we're going to run up. He's going to spawn. Actually, I don't even need to parry him. But you can, when he drops, you just run back. And did I really just hit that from here? Crazy. But yeah, I just run up, run back, and Ranger Fury. If for some reason he doesn't die, parry him, do a double fierce attack to knock him down, and then stab him. Okay? And or you can Swift Terror, but I don't recommend it. I just recommend the double fierce attack and then stab. That'll kill him quickly as well. So for this troll, there are two different ways that you can fight this first troll. You can either mimic the Balin's Tomb strat, or you can do what most other runners do, and that's just Ranger Fury. He's going to do a swing, you dodge it, Ranger Fury him again, and he dies. This is what I recommend. I think it's honestly just a super fun strat to do, and he dies really quickly. So do that, and then you are all setty spaghetti. So coming up here is our river section. And what you want to do in the river is, the river is a section that you will wade if you are going too far. So parry these guys, avoid them, and then you want to hug the left side of the river. Because if I'm running in the middle, I wade. If I'm on the left side, I can just run. And then there will be a spot where you'll be forced to wave, and 3 jump backs will get you exactly to where you need to be. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So this troll can be annoying because he tends to grab people. So what I like to do is I go up and I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then Ranger Fury. For some reason, if you do that, that doesn't... I don't know why that guy was there. For some reason, if you do that, that prevents him from grabbing you. If you just go for the Ranger Fury strat, he will more than likely grab you. So that's my recommendation. You can follow that if you want, but you don't have to. Another Berserker is going to show up right here, so be on the left side here, and time your Ranger Fury. That's just the best way to describe it. Time your Ranger Fury. If he doesn't die, same double fierce attack and kill. So now here we can ignore these guys and go into the Horde fight. In this fight, you want to just focus the goblins. Like, sometimes you will want to kill the other enemies just to get them off your back, but, like, if you can, focus the goblins as much as physically possible. And utilizing your Swift Terror and Perfect Mode. Oh, that guy's still alive. And you'll know that you've killed all of the goblins because you won't be able to break the log until all the goblins are dead. Once you've broken the log, you can then move over into your 2 trolls fight. Now these trolls, for some weird reason, have more health than the others. So what I would recommend that you do is you take these trolls, you can either do 3 Ranger Furies on them, or what I do is I once again do 5 and then another Ranger Fury, and that will kill them. Oh, that was really unlucky. Sometimes their hitboxes are dumb, and you get bullied. Okay, so kill them, and then you can grab this EXP pickup here. This will give you a lot of EXP, and it's just right there, so there's no reason to not grab it, and then you can get to the end of the level.
Aragorn, there's something out there.
What do you see, Legolas?
The White Wizard.
Saruman.
And now I will be level 6 here. Again, I'm not expecting everybody to be level 6. But when you hit level 6, you want Wilderness Rage and Master Swordsman. These are your 2 very much necessary abilities to get. If you're playing for safety, you can buy the health if you want. At this point, I don't recommend... Well, you can buy it if you want, but you're, again, more necessary abilities you won't be getting until later. So, but Wilderness Rage and... excuse me. And Master Swordsman for sure. And now we're going to move into Plains of Rohan. Plains of Rohan is a pretty fun level. We'll be introduced to our armored Urukai. They're very similar to the Uruk Scouts in that they have an ability that will knock you down, but it's a lot easier to block than the Uruk Scouts' overhead swing. They have sort of a lunge ability. Oh, and we have Gandalf. Gandalf's kind of cool. So this first fight, you just kill these guys with a Swift Terror. If Gandalf's cool, he'll shoot one, doing a lot of damage, and then you move on.
Everyone that we can.
So the main gimmick in this level that you see is up in the top left right corner is a villager meter. If that drains, you'll fail the mission, and then you have to restart. I recommend that you focus on killing enemies. After you kill these enemies, start pushing Gandalf over to the gate. He'll open it a lot faster. Okay, but for this level, with that meter in that top right corner, I recommend that you just kill all of the enemies as you're going through. Now, I don't know exactly what happened there, but you can get to this EXP pickup here before that cutscene plays. Just go fast. Go straight to it. And here, I'm going to kill the enemies just so that way I don't risk failing the level at all. Because the last thing I need is to fail the level in the tutorial. Oh, that guy's dead. There's another EXP pickup here behind this barrel. You can grab that. That'll actually be really beneficial because, you know, you won't be behind. In theory, you won't be behind on EXP. And we can... These guys are entirely optional. Because most of the time, they don't even get a chance to kill enemies. This guy, again, is optional. I like to use him to fill up the damage meter a good chunk. So that way when we get here, I can whack a lot of enemies right away and get into perfect mode a lot faster. But unfortunately, I got a little trolled. Gandalf came in quite clutch there, actually. No, hopefully I can get into perfect mode. Good. You want to be into perfect mode to shoot this berserker, because if you're not in perfect mode, he takes forever to die. And even there, he took a really long time to die. I'm going to grab these arrows for safety, and we're going to run up into this last fight. So now, this last fight is really interesting because you have another meter that's going to show up, and if that meter drains, the level will fail no matter what. But this meter will progressively drain. So you have two options. You can either go save the couple right away, or kill all the enemies and then save the couple. I personally prefer to kill all the enemies and then save the couple. So I'm going to be doing that. First, you're going to have a berserker. Again, just a nice, carefully timed Ranger Fury, and he's dead. And you can get into perfect mode again really quickly. Gandalf, once again, being an absolute beast. And then you just do a Ranger Fury to break that, and then all of the enemies are dead. If you're still behind on EXP, there's another pickup right here in this barrel. But that one can be kind of tricky to get. If you feel comfortable enough to grab it, I say just go for it.
I will come back to you at the turn of the tide.
And that will end this level. So the nice thing about this level is you'll get a lot of EXP. So now I'm level 8, so I'm going to be finishing all of my menuing here. But the last 3 abilities that you're going to be buying in the run are going to be Judgment. So now we have Judgment again, and we have Wrath of Numenor and Gondor Bow. We are now at the maximum amount of upgrades that we could want. I'm thinking about trying a new ability at some point, and I might even try and see if I can't come up with some strats for it tonight. But anyway, that's all the abilities that you want. Okay, here's your level 2, here's your level 4, your level 6, and your level 8. If you need to buy health upgrades, buy health upgrades. There is no shame in doing that. So now we're going to go into our next level, Westfold. Westfold is another level that you're probably going to be pretty likely to die in. And that's only because there's a lot of explosives, and the explosives do a lot of damage. This is the level why we recommend getting those extra health upgrades. Because it's really high risk death here. So when you're starting off, I'm just gonna do when you're starting off strat for this level. As you get later, you can kind of come up with your routing, but I recommend blowing things up as you go. So for this first area, I just cover these side areas and blow people up. Here, I hold a shot. When the enemies get close enough, you can blow them all up. These guys ignore. These guys ignore. This guy, try to not get whacked. Sappers, when you see them. Oh, I got Phantom Arrowed there. That's unfortunate. And then here. Ow. Just blow a lot of enemies up. So what I'm going to be showing off in a second is there's a mechanic that you can use that will allow you to abuse the explosives without taking any damage. And you'll kind of see it here. I'm going to be just going through this area, though, the way that you should. That guy's going to be annoying. This camera flick will trip you up. It's okay. It still trips even the best of us up. So what's going to happen here is if you Ranger Fury... Oh, no. Oh, I didn't grab that health. I could actually die here. There we go. So if you range your Fury a Sapper, they still blow up, but you don't actually take any damage. So it's a great way to cheese them, so that way you can blow them up, and not have to worry about it. Here, blow things up if you feel you need to. You don't have to. It's really up to you. Now, the lake here, I have a pretty cheeky strat that I like to go for. We have more water hopping that we're going to be doing. So what I do is, again, you don't have to, but you can blow this guy up, run along to the right side, and then just start backwards hopping. You get here, you can run forward a little bit, attract these shield guys here, and then that sapper is just going to blow them up. And then you can just run over and whack the cart and end the level. It's really that simple. You just kind of have to... A lot of this game is just adapting to how enemies move and doing what you need to do in order to get through the level. Once you get past alerts, you don't have too many strats for specific fights, and it's a lot of just adapting to what you have. Oh, hey, Kit, thank you for the follow. It's alright, it happens. So our next level is going to be Gap of Rohan. Actually, I lied. This is the last level that we have a specific strat in. So this is this isn't the shortest level in the run. Weathertop is, but this is the second shortest. It consists of 2 fights. And for this first fight, what you want to be doing is there's going to be these 2 wargs, and all you have to do is time a Wrath of Numenor. So just hold Y, your Wrath of Numenor will show up, the wargs will charge, you can release it, and they're dead. Again, there's another EXP pickup here if you're behind on EXP. So this is a fight that is linked on the Speedrun Academy page, so you can see the exact strat. It's really difficult. There are a few different... It's a pretty easy fight. But what you want to do first is dodge this charge, Swift Terror, and jump back to dodge that charge, and then Swift Terror that guy. And then he's going to be dead. And now you're going to manipulate Sharku, and I immediately am standing in the bad spot. So you're going to stand kind of in that area. You're going to stand there, and that will set you up. Here, what you want to do is I'm going to be getting a shot off the moment he lifts up there. I'm going to shoot him. He's going to drop. Okay. And then we're going to run right about here and Wrath of Numenor. Actually, that was a bad spot. Unfortunately, that was a bad spot, but you can just do another Wrath of Numenor there to then finish him. I'm going to do this level again, so that way you guys can see this fight. The first set of wargs that you kill in the first part of the Sharku fight can be really difficult, so I understand if you struggle with it. So again, here, just charge up a Wrath of Numenor. Legolas and Gimli will kill that other guy. EXP pickup there if you need it. So again, watch my input viewer. I try to explain what I do, but it can be really hard to explain it, and you can see it as well. So dodge down right, loop around, Swift Terror, jump back, loop around, Swift Terror, jump back, perfect mode, double arrow shots, charge number 1, stand off to the left, charge number 2, stand right here for charge number 3, because you have this visual cue that you can see where he's at for where you need to be. Shoot, stand right by his leg, and you can get him in one shot. You want to make sure you're standing by his leg closer to his head, because you noticed in the first time I did it, I wasn't standing close enough to his head, so I didn't get the hit on the backswing. But by standing where I was at on the backswing, we were able to get that last hit off. So now we are going to be going to the worst level in the game, because this level is an auto-scroller. It's 8 minutes of running around and kicking down ladders. There's no way to speed it up, no way to slow it down. So you can see, I hope I'm not blocking it. I'm going to try and look. Okay, no, I'm not. You can see up in the top right corner, there's this meter there. Well, actually, you can't see a meter, but you can see the map of the, of all of the enemies, and of where all the ladders are spawning. That gives you an idea of how you can kind of path it out. And you're just going to be running around, watching this map, and kicking down ladders. One thing that... So we talked earlier in the tutorial about the results screen. This is a level where it matters how many enemies you kill. If you don't kill any enemies, you save time. If you kill enemies, you lose time. Because the results tally screen will be significantly faster the less enemies you have, the less enemies you kill. So unless you are in danger of being totally overrun, do not kill enemies. And that's all you gotta do is survive. Okay, the catapults are dangerous, the arrows are dangerous, just avoid them and survive. There's safety healths in various places. There's a safety health right here in this crate. Ow. There's a safety health. Ow. 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 There's a safety health here in this crate. And there is a safety health in this crate. As long as you survive, kick ladders, and don't kill enemies, you've done this strat properly. So I will see you guys when we go into the next level. Alrighty guys, welcome back. Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed running around and kicking down ladders for 8 minutes. But we have come to the end of Deeping Wall and are now going to go into the late game section of the run. We are going to have Breached Wall, and then sorry, I'm getting distracted by... Alright. We're going to be going into the last 2 levels of the run, Breached Wall and Hornburg Courtyard. Whew. Breached Wall is a level that is all about adaptation. The entirety of this level is going to be adapting to how the enemies move. If somebody wants to go through and strat every single wave, go for it. I ain't about that life. Excuse me. So, we're going to be doing a lot of that Wrath of Numenor iframe abuse. I'm going to be running just up here and using Wrath of Numenor to blow up our enemies. So first we have shield enemies. Wrath of Numenor is going to be a really good ability to use in this level. Because as you can see, I have killed quite a few enemies. Now, unfortunately, some of the enemies will get away from you. And when they do, you just have to figure out the best way to kill them. This is a weird wave. See, I like to use Judgment to take out some of these orcs because they can put me into perfect mode and they will die a lot faster. That went really well. Good. That was unfortunate. But now I got into perfect mode, which was good. Blow that guy up, which is good. And I should have my Urukai spawning here now. So in your Urukai spawn, that means you are getting close to the end of this first section of the level. And enemies are just going to be coming in hordes. This is where you want to utilize your sappers, because you can just blow up enemies constantly and kill them quickly. And then you're going to have a group of Urukai and a Berserker spawn. The Berserker is the main enemy you want to kill here, because he's just going to run right past you. The other Urukai are going to want to try and fight. So then you kind of want to back up a bit and make room for the other Urukai to come in, and then you can just use Judgment to kill. Another Berserker comes in, and you Wrath of Numenor him before he gets a chance to get an attack off. And then for the Troll, I always like to stand right about here, because the Troll will have a space where it can walk, and you want it to just walk in, and you want it to not be throwing logs at you. And the nice thing now that you have Wrath of Numenor, the Troll will just get one shot by the Wrath of Numenor. So wait for him to do an attack, run over, Wrath of Numenor him, and he will die. And then here's something that we figured out where any sappers that are left will carry over. So try and stall a sapper where you can. They push you, so you can't really stall them that well. But since we stalled him, oh, we got unfortunate because we didn't get a chance to blow him up. But oof, that hurt. So now for the catapult, you want to get into perfect mode and not burn to death. And that can be really hard to do. Once you get into perfect mode, use the Wrath of Numenor on the catapult to take it out. you lose your perfect mode, go get another one. You have to watch the fire there, because it's really easy to get stuck into a parry lock and end up being trapped in the fire and then die.
Never have I seen such axe work, Master Dwarf.
But that will end the level. So at the end of Deeping Wall, you saw the results screen where it ended almost instantaneously. Here, it doesn't end almost instantaneously because we killed a lot of enemies. And so it takes a really, really, really long time. But that's the end, and now we go into Hornburg Courtyard, the last level in the run. So how this level is going to start is you're going to just be spamming Judgment to get into perfect mode, and since a lot of the enemies that you're going to be fighting are going to be your shield guys, they're going to be enemies, like, Judgment is just easier because they will get in your way. So you're going to be spamming Judgment until you get the cutscene that Legolas spawns. If you aren't near any enemies and you're in perfect mode, use your bow. Because with the Gondor bow, you will one-shot your enemies. So, yeah, we'll just be chilling here. The way Legolas spawns, we honestly don't know. But we know that it has something to do with the enemies that you kill. Because you can lose time here. So Legolas is going to spawn. And you want to run over to him. So you're going to want to avoid the enemies. Ow. Run over here. And you're going to run to the clump of Uruk-hai. And you're going to Wrath of Numenor them. To kill them. Don't jump into this clump here. Because they will blow up. And you will take a lot of damage. So for this section, you're going to have Uruk-hai, and this is how I recommend you do this section. Use Judgment to get into perfect mode, which right now I'm kind of stuck on the inside, but play around the outside, because once you have perfect mode, you can then use your bow to one-shot enemies. And you want to, it's a visual cue for me because I have subtitles on. You don't have to play with subtitles, but what you're going to be doing is killing enemies until you see the phrase, or hear the phrase, "Archers on the wall." So we got our archers. So now you run back over to the stairs, come right here, and you're going to be shooting at archers until you hear Gimli yell Aragorn, which I'm getting uber trolled here. So I actually have to get rid of these enemies here, which like literally has never happened. Okay, so now Gimli instead Aragorn, which gives us the go-ahead to come back down. So here, you want to kill the Berserkers. So what I recommend is just Wrath of Numenoring them. It's really hard because there's a lot of enemies around. So you have to be really precise with it. And then when the trolls spawn, that's when you know you're getting to the end of the run. So there's a few ways to deal with these trolls. Honestly, I don't know. The best way that I recommend it is just use Wrath of Numenor. You can do this perfect mode strat, but it can be really hard to do because of how many enemies are around. So I just recommend that you go up and you use your Wrath of Numenor and you kill them. Try to play around the backside of the troll, but now they're Berserker here, so we get stuck quite a bit. But time ends once you've killed the last troll. So once this cutscene starts, you have completed the run, and you can stop your timer. And congratulations, you have just completed a speedrun for The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, Aragorn. I hope this tutorial was really helpful. If you guys have any questions, I will link the Lord of the Rings speedrunning Discord, because that is just going to be a really great spot to watch, to ask questions and hang out with other runners. So please do go do that. And yeah, again, thank you guys so much for watching on YouTube. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I wish you guys good luck on your Two Towers endeavors, and I will see you all later.